In this video, I will tell you about opportunities how to get more sailing experience without much mileage, without certificates, or without spending too much money on it. When I left my home country, my only experience was on my dad's boat, 34 feet wooden boat, and that's the only boat that I knew how to sail on. And all my experience was in the Black Sea or on the river, which doesn't give me the knowledge of how to sail in the ocean or how to sail in different patterns of the weather. So I would say my experience was quite limited, and I wanted to work on boats eventually. At the time, to get for me more sailing experience was quite essential, and it took me some time, a lot of effort to find opportunities. I've had many different experiences on different boats since then. Learned the issues, or like the other side of this experience. I made some mistakes. I met many different teams, crew members, skippers, and sailed on different boats with different conditions, and I had different arrangements with the owners. So in this video, I will share my experience and I will help you to avoid these mistakes and be prepared better if you decide to join a boat to get some sailing experience. First, I will share why actually people look for sailing opportunities. Obviously, some people who like to sail but don't have a boat and just want to get out in the ocean, in the sea. There are different groups of people and therefore different expectations from everyone. Some people look sailing opportunities for a vacation. So they have 1 or 2 weeks of their work and they just want to relax, have a break from routine and just get outside. Also, another group of people, they are solo travelers or couples that travel together and they just want to explore, get a new experience. Most of them never been on a boat before. They just have no idea what they're going into, so they want to try something new. There are a lot of people like that, at least where I've been. I've met many of them. Another group is also like travelers. They don't care really about the experience, but they consider sailing as a way of transportation. For example, I met many people that don't want to fly over the Atlantic Ocean because it's like quite a big distance and it's bad for the environment, and they prefer to choose sailing over a 10-hour flight. They don't have a lot of expectations, whatever needed from them to help and get to the other side of the world. One more group is also sailors. Some of them travel, some of them don't travel, but for them the main purpose is to get mileage, because they're thinking about getting a certificate, they want just more experience, and they need like a certain mileage, for example, Yacht Master Offshore or something like that. Personally, me, I was in all these groups except vacation. I never considered sailing as vacation, but I've been a traveler. I looked at it as transportation. I'm also a sailor, so for me it was at least like 3 reasons. So as you can see, you can have several reasons to look for a sailing opportunity. Now let's start with the actual tips how to find them. The first one will be the most popular way to find these sailing opportunities: Facebook groups, Facebook communities. That's how I found my first boat for the Atlantic crossing. I think Facebook is in general a great place for finding communities on any subject that you need. Regarding sailing, that's a huge community there of sailors on Facebook, and I will show you in a second a couple of groups that I am in. Honestly, you can just search sailing or sailboats crew opportunities, you will find dozens of groups or maybe even hundreds of groups that you can join. And in each group, there are thousands of people that are actual sailors or interested in sailing, and some of them can give you tips, advice for anything that you're interested in. And some of them are actually looking for crew members and planning some sailing. In the groups, when you already a member of the group, there are two ways to look for a sailing opportunity. First, it's just check the latest posts. Sometimes you can find someone is looking for a crew member with these conditions, with these dates. If you're interested in it, you just text to the person that posted it, and from then on you just communicate privately. The other way, if you don't find any posts or any publications that you're interested in, then you post it by yourself, where you write your plans, your experience on sailboats, what dates you are going to travel on, where you're going, what's your plan there, how much time you're available, is it flexible or not. Preferably you would be flexible with the time because it's sailing. You can add your certificates if you have anything that connected to sailing, or something that can be useful on sailing, like engineering or like electricians, anything else. Even like photographers or videographers, some people look for crew members that can also make a content for them for their social media. There can be like really different arrangements. Also, it's good to mention if you have any dietary restrictions, if you're allergic to something, that's quite important. And your skills, if you can cook, if you can clean, if you can do something on the boat except sailing. Because when you cross the Atlantic Ocean, or it's a long sailing, a long passage, sailing is like, I don't know, 10% of it. Most of the time it's just other things. And of course, it's important to mention if you're seasick or you don't know if you're seasick. So it's really important to give as much information as you can to make a picture of yourself for the skippers and owners that could invite you on board. Second way for finding sailing opportunities is to go to dedicated websites like Crew Finder, for example, or Crew Bay. That's websites where people actually look for crew members, or the other way around, crew members look for skippers and boats to join. It works exactly the same way as Facebook groups. You can look for already existing publications, or you can create your own to attract people that are interested in you as a crew member. And from then, the same way, you contact each other privately and discuss all the further details. There is also another website, Ocean Crew Link. It's mostly created for finding crew for Atlantic cruising rally arc, but you need to pay $5. It's a monthly subscription. It's not too expensive, but it makes sense if you're constantly looking for opportunities. I saw some really good offers. Check this website time to time. If you're part of the ARC, it's even more interesting because you are part of the huge community that goes across the ocean. It's also an opportunity to meet more people. That's really good for community and networking. Third way to find sailing opportunities is apps. I know two apps for that. It's Sailties and Nevely. This is Sailties, and here is actually, over here you can see crewing. Depending on where you are, 5 trips. Here, wait, this Coast Cherbourg, here. So this is information, the dates, description, pictures, and who is organizing this. And you can ask questions or request a crew if you like something. Another app, Nevely. This is actually an app more like for anchorages and marinas. How it works. If you see some people in this area, it's an area of Fort de France, and you stay in Martinique at Fort de France for some time and looking for a boat, you just check in their profiles, their boat. There's no information about their destination usually, but you can chat with them, ask about the plans, and there is a chance that they're looking for a crew member or know someone who is looking. So it's also a good way. There also, I know two websites, maybe there are more. One of them is Delivery Skipper, and the other one is Halcyon Yachts. That's websites for professional deliveries. If you work as a skipper with them, then you get paid. But if you want to join as a crew, then your travel and onboard expenses usually covered. But for that, you need to have certificates, at the very least day skipper, and some mileage, because most likely they're not going to take a complete beginner on board without understanding what their skills are. And you need to make one-time payment. It's £30 or €30, depending on the website. And then you just get newsletter with sailing opportunities, with common deliveries that you can join. And you just apply for each that you're interested in. People from these companies are looking all the applicants and choosing the right one. It's a really good way to get sailing experience with professionals and get as much as possible from each delivery, because it can be different areas with different teams, different skippers. Again, if you already have some experience and certification. And one last way to find sailing opportunities is dock walking. It's a bit different from online searching, in some ways more interesting. It works when you stay in one place for some time. You don't have any fixed plans. How does it work? You just go to the marinas in this place. Let's say the Canaries. Many people do that in the Canaries when they're looking for a boat to cross the Atlantic Ocean. Look for docks that are available for visitors, because many marinas have docks closed, like they locked with the gates, and you can't access it until someone is entering the dock. If there is all accessible area, you just approach boats, and if you see some people in it, you're asking about their plans, telling the sailing experience, and they have a plan to get to this place. Do you need a crew member, or do you need some help? If they're looking for someone, or if they have space on boat, it's pretty good chance that they can take you, because it's much better if you meet each other in person already. You can feel if it's like the right boat, the right skipper for you. So it's a really good way to find this kind of opportunities. And the main thing is like communication, show your attitude, that you're willing to learn and you will be a good helper, explain how you see yourself in a team. It's more like interview for a job. Let them know that you will be valuable on the boat and you have a pretty good chance. From my own experience, I've done it a couple of times. From dock walking, I managed to find a job actually for 10 days. I found a boat to cross the Atlantic Ocean just from dock walking and tasking, talking with people. First, it might seem a bit uncomfortable, but with practice you get used to it. Just be open and talk with people, not necessarily on boats, just go in the marinas and ask people if they know someone. Networking is the best way to find anything. Sailors, it's a community where each one knows many other people. It's a pretty good chance they know someone that is looking for crew. Speaking of dock walking, I just remembered another way to find some sailing opportunities. Notice boards in the marinas. It also works if you stay at one place for some time. You can just print on the paper that I'm like looking for a boat. Your destination is like works the same way as on Facebook groups. We just post not online, but physical paper on a notice board. And many people, many sailors that are in the marina can see that and contact you. So obviously you need to leave your contact details. A couple of what questions to ask when you talk with the skipper online or offline. You need to know that the boat is safe and the skipper is a good fit for you. I always ask what kind of equipment do they have on boat. It's usually should be the most common safety equipment like EPIRB, VHF, AIS, and all this sort of stuff. Also, I ask how long have they been the owner of the boat. It's good to know how familiar they are with it, because every boat is different, and it's important if the owner and the skipper knows all the issues, all specific moments about certain boat. Also about the skipper's experience, if you can trust them, if you feel like they're reliable and the boat is safe and they know what they're doing for the specific passage, then it should be fine. It's good to have a video call. I always ask for a video call to see how we get along. It's not ideal, but it's better than just texting online. It doesn't give you any impression about the person that you go into sail with. What to expect from a sailing experience? It depends on what is your goal and what is your reason for looking for sailing. As a crew member, it's not just about sailing, it's also about cooking, keeping the boat clean, keep hygiene on the boat, get along with crew members. It's important to understand that it's not a vacation, because if skippers accept you on board, then they expect help from you, that you will be useful on board. It's not just like helming time to time. I would say it's really essential that you do as much as possible. Be proactive. If you see something like some dirt, you can clean it. If you see something can be fixed, you can ask like if you can fix it. Talk with the skipper how you can help. They really appreciate that. In most cases, why skippers take you on board, it's to share night watches. For example, if it's a solo skipper, it's really hard to do night watches. So usually they take 2 or 3 crew members to share this nighttime. For example, to have like night watches for 2-3 hours. During night watches, it's mostly looking out for other ships, checking the weather conditions if you see some changes in the wind direction, wind speed. In all situations, the skipper decides what's the point when you need to notify them. Also during night watches, it's really good practice to keep a log what happened during your night watch. Also a couple of words about finances and arrangements about finances. What most skippers expect from you as a crew member, that you cover your own travel expenses and your food. That's normal arrangement. Lately it has changed a bit. People discovered this way of traveling, this experience. Now there are much more people that want to try it, and not that many owners with the boats and skippers that looking for a crew, because they're also like families and friends that join the boats. Last maybe 2 years, I realized that there are more options when you contribute something, a certain amount per day. Sometimes it can be like 10 euros per day, and sometimes it can be 50 per day, which is quite a big difference if you, for example, crossing the Atlantic Ocean, because it's usually can be 3-4 weeks. There are many different arrangements about that. The middle is that you pay for your own food, your own travel expenses, and I think it's just fair enough that the skipper doesn't spend any money on you. That's a fair enough arrangement if you are not a professional. If you feel comfortable about that, you also can contribute daily, which is getting more popular now. Another option is when someone needs help and ready to pay for onboard expenses like food. Really rarely they pay travel expenses as well, but it can also happen. It also depends on arrangements. There are different options. You choose whatever you feel comfortable with. If you're willing to pay some contribution, accept your food expenses and travel expenses, then you have a bigger chance to find a boat to join. But if you keep looking longer, maybe you'll find something better. So it depends on how much time you have, what your expectations are, and what are you willing to contribute. And the last thing that I want to talk to you about is safety, which is also really important. There are many different people with different characters. On the boat, when you're looking to sail with someone, it's essential to know that you're safe, because you need to understand that you go into someone else's home, and most likely you won't be able to leave for quite a long time. Depends on the passage. It can be 2-day passage or it can be 1 month passage. And imagine if you like 1 month in the middle of the ocean and something goes wrong on the boat with other crew members or with the skipper, and you just can't do anything about it. It can be the most amazing boat. You can have your own cabin, your own bathroom, most of the comfort. The boat can be really safe. But if something wrong with the team, if you have problems with the skipper, with the owner of the boat, then it's not going to be enjoyable, I can guarantee that. To avoid these situations when you just want to get out of the boat as soon as possible, you need to make sure that you are safe and you're comfortable before the departure. To do so, I repeat again, do a video call. It's really important and gives you a better impression about the skipper. It's a really good thing to ask for references of the skipper that you're going to travel with. Most cases probably, if someone is looking for a crew member, then they've done it before. They've traveled with other crew members. Ask for the contacts of these previous crew members, contact them and ask about their experience. Did they feel safe? Did they feel comfortable? In general, how was their experience on the boat during the passage? Gives you a better picture of what to expect from this certain owner or skipper, from the boat. Also, I think it's important to mention sometimes there's circumstances and situations that give you a lot of pressure. For example, if you're looking for a boat and you're running out of money, don't have a place to stay, or you don't know anyone and you have nowhere to go, it can create a lot of pressure and you end up making bad decisions and choose boats or teams that you are not comfortable with, but you just don't have a choice and you just go for it, which usually ends up really badly. When your decisions based on pressure and circumstances, they don't allow you to stay longer and look for other options, it's just usually not worth it. I met many people that went for sailing and then the skippers didn't keep their promises, or the crew members ended up paying more than was arranged before. So make sure that you found the right fit for you. You feel good about it and trust your gut. If something feels off already before the departure, don't go. It's more important that you're safe and on land and you continue to look for other options than just end up in a bad situation, like with bad experience that can change your attitude about sailing. When you decide to go for it and you start sailing already during your passage, it's important to communicate with the skipper, with the team. If you feel uncomfortable about something, tell that. Say it, don't hold it, because later from that a conflict can grow. To avoid misunderstandings, miscommunication, just always tell what you're not comfortable with. And to sum up everything, there are a lot of options to find sailing opportunities online and offline. Figure out what your expectations are. If you're willing to contribute some finances, how much time you have, how flexible you are, and what you expect to gain from this experience. As soon as you understand what your goal is, it's gonna be easier to focus on options that you're actually interested in that will fit you better. Always have a video call before joining the boat. Find out as much as possible about the skipper, the boat, about your crew members as well. Maybe find their social media accounts. During the passage, communicate with everyone, do your best, help with everything you can, as sailing, as cooking, cleaning, fixing stuff, keeping the mood up, encourage everyone, because it might be sometimes challenging. If you do a good preparation beforehand, gather all the information, then it's gonna be a really good experience that you will remember for years, and it's totally worth it. Find the right option, trust your gut, and enjoy sailing.